I'm a black guy with hobbies, and one of them is film photography. And today we are going to be going over a couple film niches. I'm talking about some film niches that the general public has never heard about. Let's get started. The first niche is a super softball niche. This is one that most people can just do at home. And if you already shoot black and white film, you probably already got this filter hanging around. That is red scale photography. What is red scale photography? Red scale photography is something very simple. All it is when you shoot the emulsion side facing the opposite way. So instead of light hitting the emulsion first, it's hitting that base layer before it gets to the emulsion side. And doing that causes your film to have this crazy red effect all over it. Now, in order to load your film backwards, you have to have already bulk loaded it beforehand. But honestly, you can skip all that and just get Harman red or just have a red filter over some colored film. This look is something super niche, and it honestly just reminds me of old school 90s gritty action movies. This is a look that you typically just don't see anymore, and honestly is super dated. Niche number 2 is infrared photography. To give a quick rundown on infrared photography, the human eye can see color on the light spectrum. In the middle of that spectrum is what we have visible light. On one far end, you have ultraviolet light, and on the other end, you have infrared light. When shooting infrared photography, you're cutting out all the light beforehand, and the only light that you are left with is infrared light. Now, why would anyone want to shoot infrared? And that's for 2 reasons. When shooting on infrared film, all plants reflect infrared light and the sky absorbs it. That leaves you with these alien looking worlds and leaves you with this haunting black sky. These pictures make you feel like you're in a fantasy land. These are super trippy to look at. So if these pictures are so cool to look at, why don't people do it more? That's because when you shoot portraits on infrared film, people look alien and your shutter speeds head into the dirt. That's because you have to compensate for all the light that you're not using. And with your shutter speed sitting anywhere of a quarter of a second and upwards, you need a tripod, which essentially makes this only good for landscape. That's because any movement will then cause some sort of blur across your photo. But infrared film leads me to my last niche, trichrome photography. Trichrome photography is when you take black and white film and you attach 3 different filters to it: red, yellow, and green. You take the same shot 3 times using these 3 different filters on black and white film. And when you combine all 3 of them, you get this colored image. This was the OG way of shooting color before color film became a thing. But obviously people are not shooting color photos this way using this process, but instead they use this process to shoot something like Kodak Aerochrome. So instead of using this process and shooting on standard black and white film, people are using this process and shooting it on infrared film, using the same 3 color filters, but in post, flipping the color channels, mapping the reds to greens, creating these crazy looking photos. If you thought black and white infrared was crazy, look at these. This seems like a lot of work to shoot Kodak Aerochrome, but honestly, Kodak Aerochrome shot one of my favorite photo series of all time, The Enclave. But what do you think of these film niches? Are these niches that you've tried before? Which one do you think I should get into? Or